More than just music. More than just music.
Radio Harrow.
This is indeed Radio Harrow, and it's that time of year again. Yes, it's that time of year. It's panto time. And this year at Harrow Arts Centre, we are going to see Cinderella. Oh, yes, we are. And you might remember from past years, we've been visited by Immersion Theatre. They are a really fantastic group, and in a moment, you'll be able to hear a little interview that I did with the cast at the beginning of their rehearsals. So, how do you book? That's the most important thing. So, what you want to do is to go to Harrow Arts Centre on your search engine, and then go to events, and you'll be able to find Cinderella. But do get there, because I've just been having a look, and it runs from the 11th until the 28th of December. But a lot of the shows have already been booked this early. Tickets are £18, £15 concessions, and a family or group ticket costs £60. So if you get a group of you there, by golly, that's going to be very good value for money. And it is, as it says here, perfect Christmas treat for the whole family. It runs about 2 hours, and you'll find if you go online that each day it runs different. Sometimes there's 2 shows a day, sometimes just the one. Or you can find out more by phoning 07516 974301, 07516 974301, Monday to Friday, 10 to 5, and they'll be able to tell you all about it and take your bookings down the phone. So, meanwhile, I just wondered exactly what it's like to be an actor in these strange days. So I'm at Harrow Arts Centre here in Hatch End, and I'm with the cast of Cinderella, to which everyone normally says, oh, no, you're not. So it's fantastic, because it's been 2 years, hasn't it, since you've been, because of the sort of lockdown. So what's it like being back in work again here in Harrow?
Yeah, it's just amazing to all be together again in the studio, doing the jobs that we're actually trained for and, that we love doing. Rehearsing great songs and choreography. It's just great to be back in the studio, and it's exciting to get back on the stage.
So I tell you what we haven't done, we haven't introduced ourselves and who we are and the role that we're playing.
Hiya, I'm Darcy and I'm in the ensemble.
So what does that mean, the ensemble?
Oh, so I do like the dancing and things, villager, things like that. Yeah,
Every bit as important.
Hello, my name's Tommy Carmichael, and I'm playing Fanny, who is one of the Ugly Sisters.
Boo.
Quite right.
Hi, I'm Rochelle, and I am playing the fairy godmother.
And I'm Luke Hayward, and I'm playing the prince.
It seems as if someone's missing.
I have to say the most important character of Cinderella is unfortunately upstairs rehearsing at the moment.
She's very busy.
She's awfully busy, so unfortunately she's not able to be with us today. But we'll make up for it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, no, you won't. Yeah, as I said, it's almost 2 years since you've been... Well, it is 2 years, isn't it? Since you've been in Harrow. You're all actors. So, what have you been doing meanwhile?
So I've luckily I was able to do a couple of jobs actually during 2020. They were like an outdoor tour with the Immersion Theatre Company, who are producing this pantomime. And so I was really lucky to get some performing work. It was all socially distanced, but it was great to just actually still be performing in a year when not much entertainment was able to go on. And in between that, I've just been keeping myself busy with various other jobs, and just keeping nice and busy.
I know we spoke about this 2 years ago. Acting is a profession. You profess to do it. You know, it's not something that you just sort of fit around everything else. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. I think if you want to be a performer, it's literally in the blood. You can't do anything else. It's not the easiest industry to be in. It's really, really difficult. And I think you have to, you know, put up with a lot of kind of pushbacks, and you've got to have a really, really thick skin. But if it is your passion, then you basically can't do anything else. So that's why we all do it, because the buzz that you get when you are performing in front of a live audience, especially, there is just nothing like it. It's amazing. So that's why we do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, because there's a huge difference. I mean, at the moment, the film and television industry is in amazing revival. And talking to producers, they said they can't even get crews. It's so busy. But it's very, very, very different, isn't it?
Yes, we actually, we were lucky enough to be able to do a pantomime in 2020. We did Dick Whittington. It was an open-air pantomime in the middle of December in a marquee, so it was freezing. And we actually filmed that, so we were able to stream it to people that weren't able to come and see the actual show. And yeah, when we did the show with no one there, we were doing the call and response and getting nothing back. It really was the strangest experience. Yeah. So having a live audience, particularly for panto, I think is so important.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And we just have to learn to adapt, and that's just one of the ways that, well, not just us, but the whole industry has had to adapt. And, you know, there's so much live streaming now, isn't there? And platforms like Netflix has been really useful for bringing theatre to people's living rooms when they can't actually go out and, you know, go to the theatre.
It is. Ugly Sister. Yeah, and I would say that I am actually speaking to a very handsome gentleman.
Thank you very much.
I should explain, folks, that if it sounds slightly muffled in this recording, we're all wearing our masks in accordance with the latest thing. But what have you been doing apart from being ugly?
Actually, very similarly to Luke, I felt very lucky to be able to get outdoor tours with Immersion Theatre Company across the 2 years, and I've been doing a lot of teaching young people theatre, mostly online because of the restrictions, and watching a lot of TV. Watching a lot of TV. Actually, I've been developing my skills in TV by watching it. I recommend watching TV wholeheartedly.
And I would say, though I'm long retired as a former television cameraman, I would go 100% with you on that.
Most definitely. I mean, there's so much out there, but it's so nice that theatre can now be streamed into living rooms and things like that, because when you can't leave your house, you can still have that art that we so need, because, you know, that all society needs theatre and live performance in order to emote with it. So it's so great you can have that in some fashion in your own living room.
There's stars and there's, as you say, part of the cast. So how did you actually start in acting?
Well, my mum's a dance teacher, so I started when I was quite young, and I'm still in training, so I started professional college a couple of years ago. But yeah, no, just got into it through my family and things. But yeah, I enjoy it, so I've kept going the whole time.
So have you had the chance before to work with a live audience?
Yeah, I have on a couple of occasions, but obviously over the past couple of years it's been a bit tricky with the lockdown and stuff, so it's really nice to be getting back on stage after about 2 years of online training and things like that. So yeah, very exciting.
It must be. Now, this is the highlight of Harrow Arts Centre's year. Even Matt has agreed with me on that. But pantomime is something very, very special, isn't it?
Yes, I think pantomime is so important because it's potentially the first piece of theatre that a child gets to see. It's their first introduction to theatre. And nowadays, sometimes it could be an adult's first introduction to theatre. So it's so important, and we've got such a responsibility to make sure it's good, make sure they enjoy it, because if they do, it means that they come back and see more, or they either want to get into the industry and be involved themselves. So it is so important that we do a good job. And obviously it's people's festive outing, isn't it? You know, everyone comes to see Panto.
There's a lot of tradition involved, isn't there? And, you know, you don't want to, if people, some families only go to the theatre once a year to see pantomime. And so, you know, we have to make sure that it's the best night of their year every time.
Panto is as much the audience as it is the people actually on the stage. It's a sort of combined effort, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, absolutely. And, you know, everything that we do on the stage is for them, you know, and it is all about giving them their amazing night out that is good quality time with the family. You know, like Tommy said, it's the money that's gone into it, and, you know, the planning of them coming to watch it. Yeah, it's just really important that we deliver them a good night, and the audience participation when they get on board with that and give us the response that, you know, that we're encouraging. It's just such a nice atmosphere in there. And yeah, I'm just so excited to sort of experience that again in a live situation.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it's sort of very different, I know, from film, and as successful as the film and television industry is, with Netflix and others, it's a hell of a difference, isn't it? Because, like, one of the things is, like, you guys, if you've worked in film, the crew is not expected to actually respond at all.
No, of course. I think the crew, when you're filming for a film or for a TV program, obviously the crew are not expected to respond and have to be absolutely silent. But even in rehearsals, when we're rehearsing at the moment, we've got the backstage crew sat watching, and we absolutely expect them to join in. So we've got something calling back to us. But yeah, so it is very different.
Yeah, I know it's absolutely opposite. So, Cinderella's not here. But I, you know, you guys, I really do appreciate you taking the time off, because I know it's sort of rehearsals are tremendously busy. But it's very much a traditional pantomime, isn't it?
Yes. I have to say, I think Cinderella is my favourite pantomime, so I'm so excited to be doing it this year. But I think it's one of the favourites. It's such a fairy tale. You know, Cinderella gets her happy ever after. You've got the fairy godmother, so you've got the magic. Obviously, they fall in love. It's just the perfect pantomime story, I think.
People are, especially youngsters, are used to all of these special effects on television and film. There's a famous story, I don't know how true it is, of a 3-year-old who went absolutely ape because he was looking at a book and the book wouldn't move. But how do you actually sort of get this sort of magic? Everyone is so used to CGI and these special effects. You can't really do that on the stage, can you?
No, you know, you can't create it in the same way as, you know, a film can, obviously, but it's a different sort of magic of being in the theatre. You know, I think that sort of live element is a magic in itself, and when you pair that with all the lighting and the choreography and the harmony and the amazing music in the show, you know, that is being in that atmosphere, in that environment, and with the rest of the audience who are all enjoying that same experience, that's the magic in itself.
So it's the experience itself?
Yeah, it is a full experience. It's an absolute blast for the senses because, I mean, obviously I am an advocate for TV, but when it comes to live theatre, you get something that you cannot possibly get in your own living room, and that is the chance that something could happen and could go wrong or could go right and it's the best thing you've ever seen, or, you know, there's so much excitement about the liveness of it all because it's happening right in front of you, as opposed to being through a screen. But it's such a fun experience to be in as well as to witness as an audience member.
You said things going wrong. But it's a live audience, it is fun, you're working with the audience. So can you do the audience actually know that things have gone wrong, or do you just sort of work around it?
I think particularly with panto, you're able to, if things do go wrong on stage, kind of bring the audience into that. And I think if there are times, particularly with the Ugly Sisters, for example, they're going to have an amazing time. If there are times that, things do go wrong, the audience are just even more on your side when that happens. I think, they're with you along that journey and they think it's hilarious. And so, obviously we try and be very well rehearsed and make sure that nothing does go wrong. However, it is live theatre at the end of the day, so...
So things, I'm speaking with a newer member of the cast, have things actually gone wrong with you?
Not yet. We're only a few days into rehearsals, but we'll see. Hopefully not on my part anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, because I know it's, there's less excuse if you're on the other side of the camera and things go wrong. Generally, that means that you're invited to work on another film.
I think with film it's very different though, because you can, stop, go back, refilm it. There's a lot that you can do at the editing process, but obviously on the stage, you can't be like, sorry guys, we're going to have to stop and go back a little bit. So you just have to plow on through and just keep going.
And that's sort of our job as theatre actors, to be able to sort of deal with those things if they do arise. And sometimes, especially with panto, use it to our benefit. It sort of lets the audience into a slightly unique experience of the show that probably, if you came to watch it another day, it wouldn't happen like that. So they sort of sometimes feel a bit special in a way. So it can sometimes work as a positive.
So difference between panto and, say, Ibsen.
Yes, very different vibe.
Do you guys also do straight theatre?
Yes, actually over the summer I was doing a tour of Romeo and Juliet, and also that was rapping with the Three Musketeers. So I do appreciate a bit of Shakespeare as well. But I think it's really good to be able to mix it up, to have panto and Shakespeare, straight theatre, musical theatre. I really enjoy doing it all. So.
And finally, would you guys recommend other people to go on the stage?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, if you're thinking about it, then it's very exciting. I think when you're on the stage, it is an exciting thing to do. So if you want to go for it, I'd say give it a try. Yeah, sure.
As Rochelle was saying at the beginning of this, it's in your blood. So if you know that's what you want to do, shoot for it. But it is hard work at the end of the day, and that sounds like I'm being a downer on it all, but it's hard work, but the reward is so brilliant, so therefore it's worth every effort that we put in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, again, it's just the response, particularly with panto, that you get from the audience. There is just nothing like it. So if it is something that you want to do, 100% give it a go, because it's awesome.
It's such a unique industry, and we're just so lucky to have, it's not a regular 9-to-5 job or anything like that. It's a job that is always changing, and we feel the benefits of that. So definitely, if you're ever thinking about getting into this industry or anything like that, just really commit to it and give it everything you've got, and the benefits will definitely pay off.
And how do you actually get into the industry then?
I think there are various avenues that you can take. Obviously, you can take the kind of more maybe traditional avenue, which is to go into training. Obviously, like Darcy's doing at the moment, train and then come out, and then obviously you get the auditions. But then I know there are some other people who haven't trained and actually just jumped straight in and kind of learned on the job and from actually doing it. So I do think there are various avenues that you can take to get into theatre.
You said about auditions, best auditions, worst audition.
Oh, my absolute worst audition was basically I was auditioning for a drama school, and they had requested to me, I was very young at this point, and they'd requested to me to write a musical about my life for the audition. And so I turned up and I was like, oh, I've done loads of Amdram. I'm going to use all of the songs that we used in the Amdram and piece them together to make this amazing story. And then forgot on the first line and then messed up loads. And they just was like, and thank you. And so then I just had to leave. And it was very, very painful to receive. But that's it. This industry, there's a lot of pain involved. But you've just got to keep working at it because, again, the reward is amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I think, for me, again, I think it was similar, just because you're so nervous when you go into the audition room because you want the part so much. That you put so much pressure on yourselves, and I think mine has been when I went into an audition room and started with such confidence and then just completely blanked and completely forgot all of the lines. I don't even think I got to the end of the monologue, and I was just like, I'm gonna leave now because okay, goodbye.
So I actually had an audition once. It was for a show called Kinky Boots, and but I was up for the ensemble and I arrived and I didn't realise that I actually needed to be wearing heels for the audition. And so I arrived at an audition with 40 other boys that were all wearing heels, bar me and about two other boys. And so there I was just dancing in my trainers. But, it went okay.
Did you get the job?
No, I didn't. I felt slightly out of place.
So this thing about rejection, I suppose, because your face has to fit, not only do you have to be able to do the job. How do you deal with rejection?
I think it's just about realising that that's possibly not the right thing for you, and then just getting excited and prepared for the next thing, and whoever does get that job, being happy for them. And I think you just got to find your own way to deal with it. I mean, I'm not had many, I've not auditioned for many things yet, so I haven't had to deal with too many situations. But I think when they do come up, you just have to take it on the chin and kind of keep working, and then hopefully the next one will be, for you or whatever. But
So there you go, and folks, you can see the show. I'll be telling you afterwards dates, how much the tickets are. Meanwhile, this is Brian Rose. You're listening to Radio Harrow.
Radio Harrow.
So there you go then. And they said, sorry, it's a little bit noisy, and we were all having to wear masks and have the windows open and everything down there. So my apologies for that. So once again, just to remind you, those dates, 11th to the 28th of December. 11th to the 28th of December. It's at Harrow Arts Centre in Hatch End. Plenty of parking there, by the way. Tickets, £18, £15 concession, £60 for a family group. Children age 3 plus need their own seat. Under twos, if you sit on their lap or they sit on your lap, they get in for free. Oh, yes, they do. So you can go to Harrow Arts Centre and you'll find Cinderella on there, or you can actually book your tickets by phone. It's 07516 974301, 07516 974 But do get on the line, do get those tickets booked, because I've just been speaking with them and tickets are going fast. So there's something really to look forward to in December. This is Radio Harrow.
Radio Harrow.